Good morning. Hearty welcome to all of you and greetings on the occasion of the World Bicycle Day today. I recollect in the year 2018, we have taken up with the United Nations on behalf of our World Cycling Alliance and persuade them to come up with a day exclusively for cycling. It took a lot of efforts. Finally, when they accepted our proposal and declared June 3rd June as the World Bicycle Day, it was a great moment for us. And the first World Bicycle Day on 3rd June 2018, we celebrated in Delhi at Connaught Place with a massive cycling event in which nearly 5,000 cyclists participated. And after that, there's no looking back. Every year, we have been observing and celebrating the World Bicycle Day in a different city. We come back to Delhi now, and this year, in addition to this event, the national seminar on smart and sustainable mobility through cycling, we are also having cycling events, massive cycling rides in various cities of India in collaboration with the Sports Authority of India. We have the Deputy Director General of Sports Authority here. In collaboration with them, we are organizing massive cycling events all over the country. And all this is to bring in greater awareness, consciousness about cycling in India. Before we start the formal proceedings, we do the traditional lamp lighting with your permission.
Yes.
We have here Mr. Srivastava, retired IAS, Director, India International Center, and former Secretary, Ministry of Civil Aviation, Government of India. And he is the chief guest now with us, and I request him to speak.
Good. My colleagues, Rohina Gupta, Director in the Ministry of Urban Development, Mr. Mayank Srivastava, Deputy Director General, Sports Authority of India, Sri D.V. Manohar, Chairman, SmartBike and First Vice President, World Cycling Alliance, Mrs. Manohar, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me great pleasure to welcome all of you to IIC for this very important discussion on the subject of a smart and sustainable mobility through cycling. I would like to first thank the partners, that is World Cycling Alliance, SmartBike, and Fit India for collaborating with us in this program. Today, as cities around the world grapple with a change of congestion, pollution, climate change, public health, the search for sustainable mobility solution has become more urgent than ever before. In India, rapid urbanization has brought unprecedented opportunities, but it has also placed enormous pressure on our transport system and urban infrastructure. Cycling offers a simple yet transformative answer to many of these challenges. It is affordable, environmentally friendly, energy efficient, and accessible. More importantly, it places people, not vehicle, at the center of urban planning. Every journey made by bicycle contributes to cleaner air, reduced carbon emission, healthier lifestyle, and more livable cities. Cities that invest in the safe cycling infrastructure invariably become more human, equitable, and resilient. Around the world, many cities have demonstrated that with thoughtful planning and sustainable public investment, cycling can become an integral component of urban mobility. Examples, some of them which I like to quote is Copenhagen in Denmark, Utrecht in Netherlands, and Paris. They really present fantastic example for others to emulate. India too has begun taking important steps in this direction. However, much remains to be done with regard to infrastructure, road safety, behavioral changes, and policy integration. The seminar provides an excellent opportunity to learn from global experience, exchange ideas, and explore how Indian cities can create conditions that encourage cycling as a viable and preferred mode of transport. The presence of policymakers, urban planners, mobility experts, and cycling advocates makes this gathering particularly valuable. At the ISC, we believe that informed public dialogue is essential to address complex public challenges. I am confident that the deliberation this morning will generate meaningful insights and practical recommendations from policymakers, civil authorities, and citizens alike. Before I conclude, I would like to say something about Mr. D.V. Manohar himself and the contribution that he has made in this regard. See, D.V. Manohar, initially suffered with some serious health problem, but then he took that one as a challenge. And by taking to cycling massively, he has been able to overcome all those health issues. And from that angle also, he presents a fantastic example for others to follow. He is a first generation entrepreneur. He has cycled between London to Paris twice. Really amazing kind of achievement. He is founder of Hyderabad Bicycling Club, which he set up in 2001. And later on, further upscaled it, and he founded now this Smart Bike Mobility Limited Private Limited in 2017. He was instrumental in getting a PPP project launched in partnership with NDMC, and that venture is now facilitating operation of public bike sharing system, which is being used by the Delhiites in a massive way. Smart bikes, according to the figure that has been given to me, is that about 9 lakh registered users are there with the smart bike who have traversed more than 50 lakh, who have done more than 15 lakh rides, and have covered more than 45 lakh kilometers of distance. So if you convert that one into the scientific aspect, this effort has prevented emission of more than 2,500 tons of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. So great service, Mr. Manohar, you are doing, and may God bless you, give you more energy to further scale it up and make this one a sort of preferred mode of transportation, not only the metropolitan cities, but all over the country. I remember, in 1988, when I visited China as a part of entourage of Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi. Uh, that time the Beijing city was being redeveloped. I remember, they had, while developing the road, they also created special corridors for bikers massively, and thousands and thousands of Beijing citizens, they were traversing the distance between their residence and workplace by bicycling. This kind of approach many countries have followed, but unfortunately, in our country, this has not really, been taken as a priority so much. We have tried to retrofit, this kind of things, but that doesn't succeed because the cities have already developed, and for cycling to become very popular thing, you need, dedicated, corridors. During Shilaji's time, some effort was made, but it did not really succeed. So what is really required is that old cities are required to be redeveloped as China, Turkey, and many other countries have done. Uh, and while redeveloping them, this kind of infrastructural provisioning is required to be done. So a lot of distance is required to be traveled, and somehow the cycling has really not become a mass movement in our country, which is really required. Because if that awareness gets generated amongst the common people, then only the government will come under pressure and they will be forced to create infrastructure and promote this thing. Delhi, we have been suffering with all kinds of pollution problems every year. Actually, it is a nightmarish thing to be in Delhi, during the winter months. I remember when I came to Delhi first time on deputation in 1987. That time city used to be so livable, and winter we actually used to welcome because you get very, very fresh vegetables, fruits, and all that. The warmth of was really being enjoyed. But now the city is entirely different. Is all on account of the pollution that the city is. And also indicates that more than 40 or 45% of to the pollution is from the vehicular emissions. Now, cycling can definitely be a very important part. Of course, electric vehicle, that kind of approach is also required, but cycling can contribute very huge. Actually, we're expecting that the Chief Minister of Delhi would be with us, but because of her some other pre-commitments, she could not be here. But we'll certainly convey this message to her, and I would like that in this conference, let these aspects be debated, deliberated in greater details. I am told that Mr. Manohar is also going to present a national cycling policy. I'm really looking forward to that. Let us discuss that policy. And after it is finalized, it is required to be presented not only to Delhi government, but to all the state governments. So this is what I would to say, and I really thank for your attention, and my special thanks to Mr. Manohar and Mrs. Manohar who have traversed all the way from Hyderabad. There are several, things which I can count about the achievements which Manohar has made in his life, but there's no, I mean, this is not the occasion to do that. But he's a really outstanding personality, fully committed to the social cause, and I'm sure the mission for cycling that he has taken is definitely going to yield some very, very good dividends and returns for the country. And our society, the common man, is going to benefit immensely. So, with these few words, I end here and I wish all success to this endeavor and the conference that is going to start now. Thank you very much.
It's not connected. It's not connected. Our chief guest, Sri K. Srivastava ji, Sri Mayank Srivastava, Deputy Director General, Sports Authority of India, Ms. Rohini Gupta, Director, Urban Planning, Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, and fellow cycling enthusiasts, members of the media, and friends. Showing I'm offline. As mentioned by Mr. Srivastava, I'll be sharing the national cycling policy drafted by me. How come I drafted it? It all started a few years back when the Startup India selected 12 startup entrepreneurs from all over the country to interact with the Honorable Prime Minister and make policy recommendations. They are from various fields. From the field of smart and sustainable mobility, my son Dharmin got that opportunity and he presented several recommendations about promoting cycling, how cycling could be promoted all over the country. And those proposals include a national cycling policy, dedicated cycling tracks in all the cities, and then carbon trading exchange, so on and so forth. The Prime Minister positively responded to that, and he assured that all these will be implemented in due course. And some are already implemented, some are awaiting implementation. So in this background, the Honorable Minister for Sports, Mr. Mansukh Mandviya, called me and he told me to go ahead and prepare the national cycling policy, draft a national cycling policy and submit it to them for further processing, which I did. And here I'm placing before you, this is the first time I'm sharing it in public, and I'm placing before you the main features, the salient features of the draft national cycling policy. Our guiding principle are future of mobility is based on 7 C's: common, connected, convenient, congestion-free, charged, clean, and cutting edge, as enunciated by the Honorable Prime Minister. This is where my son made the policy recommendations to Honorable Prime Minister, and in the link, the Prime Minister accepted these recommendations. These are vision and mission to make India, in India, cycling the natural choice for shorter journeys by 2030. It is our common practice, even to commute short distances, we take out our cars, our scooters. Instead, take out your cycles, and then for shorter commute, cycling is ideal. And it will also contribute to the commitments we have made in the international fora, that is cycling to contribute meeting the Honorable PM's goal of reducing 1 billion metric tons of carbon emissions by 2030, cycling to help India achieve its commitment to reduce its emissions intensity by 45%, cycling to help India's long-term low-carbon development strategy, which aims at reaching net zero emissions by 2070, so on and so forth. Well, we are all aggrieved by the air pollution menace in our cities, particularly so in Delhi. And we know that very bad day, 18 November 2024, when AQI levels in Delhi touched an all-time high of 1800, which is most hazardous. And during winter, most cities in the north, they report very high AQIs. And It is a fact that air pollution menace is reducing the lifespan of citizens in urban India substantially. We don't want to lose even a few days of our life, but if we are to lose a few years, that is something not acceptable at all. And COVID, we all suffered with that. It killed 5 lakh people in 2 years in India, whereas air pollution is killing about 22 lakh citizens every year. That is how grave this problem is. So there is an imperative need to combat this problem. That is how the vehicular pollution menace is affecting us. Every year, more and more vehicles are added, and as much as 2 crore vehicles are added every year, and it is adding further to the vehicular pollution menace. I studied the national cycling policies of the leading cycling nations: Netherlands, Denmark, Germany, UK, Australia, and United States, and picked the important points and made them relevant to India in this national cycling policy. There is an imperative need for this national cycling policy because it will help in better environment, it will help in better health for citizens, it will help in the economy, it will help decrease in oil imports, and it will help in improving the livability conditions. The first and foremost step in this is creating a proper cycling infrastructure. And this would consist of dedicated cycling tracks. When there are dedicated cycling tracks and when people don't have to take the risk of the ever increasing traffic, the disorderly traffic conditions, then these dedicated cycling tracks are very much required. Then we have the tracks. We need the cycles also. We can't expect everybody to have their own cycle. Then an efficient and effective public bike sharing system shall be there in all our cities. Some cities have already gone ahead under a public-private partnership mode they have created, and our company SmartBike has tied up with the city governments in New Delhi, Chandigarh, Chennai, Hyderabad, Kota, etc., and also with the defense establishments all over the country. And this PBS system, when it is available in all cities, it will further help the cause of cycling. Mandatory cycle parking in all establishments and parking lots will help a lot. Then car-free zones, like for example, crowded areas such as our Connaught Place. It should be limited, it should be made a car-free zone, and it should be limited only for cycling. Only cyclists can, use that. Others, they have to either walk or cycle. No vehicle shall be permitted. And there are several such areas, crowded areas in Indian cities, and they shall be made car-free zones. Then cycling Sundays. I'm glad Sports Authority of India has come up with this already, and they are promoting cycling Sundays all over the country, and we all shall participate in that. Some tax incentives are required. The customs duty and IGST shall be 5% each on import of electric cycles and its vital components. And GST on cycles shall be brought down to 5%, as is the case with electric cycles. Then under Section 80D, tax benefits shall be extended. Then there shall be incentives for private equity funds and venture capitalists for funding public bike sharing systems. This is very much prevalent and very popular in Europe and the American continents, both North American continent as well as South American continent. catching them young, making cycling and the need for cycling as part of the curriculum in high schools. And that would make the students, the younger ones, realize the importance of cycling. And they will not only catch it, they will also prevail upon their parents to practice it. Motivating students to cycle to schools and colleges, and those who cycle shall be given considerable credits by the respective schools, and cycle as one of the levers in scheme for empowering the girl child. When we met the Honorable Chief Minister of Delhi, Srimati Rekha Gupta ji, she shared with us that they are giving cycles free to about 1.5 lakh girl students in Delhi, which is a laudable step. I hope that this will be done by other state governments also. Safety is a very, very important issue here. Well, I have had my share of cycling accidents where I sustained fractures, where I had to, in bed for weeks together. So I know how tough it is to be a cycle warrior and to brave the traffic conditions. So ensuring the safety of cyclists is of paramount importance. Cyclists should be given first right. All vehicles shall honor the first right principle by right of way to cyclists. This is already happening in Europe. And why can't it be done in India in a phased manner? Then at all traffic signals, there shall be signals for cyclists first, which are integrated with the overall traffic systems. Promoting cycling to work. All corporates shall be encouraged to promote cycling to work by their team members in their respective corporates, and they shall extend free loans, interest-free loans, to buy cycles and incentives for cycling to work. Also create infrastructure for parking, freshening, etc. Most of these elements I listed in the National Cycling Policy would not require for heavy investments by the government. It can fund by itself. If 10% of CSR funds of every corporate shall be utilized for cycling promotion and creation of cycling infrastructure. CSR funds are massive. Every corporate has to set aside these CSR funds. And out of these CSR funds so set aside, if 10% are earmarked for cycling promotion, that will help a lot. Then any expenditure on cycling promotion shall be considered as a business expenditure and tax deductible. Special tax incentives to be given to PE funds, venture capitalists, and banks for funding public bike sharing projects. Increase the share of cycling in transportation is the need of the hour, and it is happening all over the Western world, and cities as diverse as Bogota, Copenhagen, Montreal, and Barcelona are leading the way. I have had the privilege of cycling in all these cities, and I have seen how disciplined the traffic is and how livable the city has become because of that. To make walking and cycling attractive options, cities must focus on safety, convenience, culture, and comfort for cyclists and people on foot. Lastly, we need a Ministry of Smart and Sustainable Mobility along with a National Cycling Task Force so that there will be focused development. And the National Cycling Task Force to be set up under the ministry to spread awareness, build cycling infrastructure, and promote cycling all over the country. And this task force shall work on a mission mode such as Swachh Bharat, open defecation-free villages, Namami Gange, LED bulbs revolution, etc. So we need actions like this. As I mentioned, it doesn't call for lot of investment from the government. If only these are implemented, and most of these initiatives can fund themselves or can be funded by the corporates out of CSR funds and so on and so forth, then it will lead to a cycling revolution in India. That's what we need. We need a cycling revolution in India, which would address the vehicular pollution menace and which would help in increasing the lifespan of the citizens, not only in Delhi, but everywhere in the country. And it would be ideal if the Honorable Prime Minister can give a clarion call about the need for cycling promotion in his very popular Man Ki Baat program. Thank you very much for your attention.
So, Mr. Manohar, we have amidst us a very senior member of India International Center, Mr. A.K. Jain. He retired as member of planning in the Delhi Development Authority, DDA. He has authored two very important books, which he has given here: Sustainable Urban Transport and Systems. And second one is he has mapped the entire Delhi right from historical period and onwards. So Mr. Jain is here. I would like that he should also speak either now or maybe in the business session. So, Mr. Jain, our request will be that in the business session, which is going to start now, you please speak.
We are privileged to have your presence, Mr. Jain. I now request Mr. Mayank Srivastava, IPS, Deputy Director General, Sports Authority of India, to speak to us.
Thank you very much, Manohar ji. First of all, I thank you for inviting me to this August gathering, this conference that kind of deliberates on, benefits of cycling, cycling per se. I would first of all thank Shri K. and Srivastava sir also for patiently waiting for me. I ate up, sir, 11 minutes of yours.
No.
So I'll compensate it by reducing my speech by 11 minutes.
Take your time, mind.
Sir, thank you very much. So nice of you. Ma'am Rohina Gupta, DV Manohar sir, Mrs. Manohar, and all the people who are present here, my journalist friends. First of all, I would like to extend my best wishes to all of you on the occasion of World Bicycle Day. And this day, now such days, are becoming more and more important for India. Why? I'll come to this later also, but there's a context of it. India's image abroad is what? So far as sports are concerned. So sports, in the field of sports, people think abroad that India plays only one sports, and you know which sport? Cricket. और कोई खेल हम लोग खेलते ही नहीं है. तो ये एक जो मिथ है ना, इसको आज दूर करने की आवश्यकता है, पर्टिकुलरली व्हेन हमारे जो अम्बिशन नहीं बोलूँगा मैं, इसका हमारा एक नेचुरल जस्टिस है जो हमें एक है कि भारत जो विश्व का सबसे ज़्यादा जनसंख्या वाला देश है, यहाँ पे अगर इस तरह की एक्टिविटीज़ नहीं होंगी, इस तरह के दिन नहीं मनाए जाएंगे, इस तरह के दिवसों को हम सेलिब्रेट नहीं करेंगे तो कहाँ करेंगे. तो आज का दिन इस लिहाज से बहुत महत्वपूर्ण है. मैं आपको एक और चीज़ बताना चाहता हूँ कि मैं यहाँ पे बतौर डिप्टी डायरेक्टर जनरल खेलो इंडिया आया हूँ. खेलो इंडिया भारत सरकार का फ्लैगशिप प्रोग्राम है और उसी के अंतर्गत एक फिट इंडिया है. और फिट इंडिया, आप ये सफ़ेद टी शर्ट के लोग देख रहे होंगे जिनके एक साइड फिट इंडिया लिखा है, भारत के ट्राई कलर में बना हुआ. तो फिट इंडिया के बारे में मैं थोड़ा सा आपको इंट्रोडक्शन देना चाहूँगा कि 2019 में माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी ने इसकी शुरुआत की थी और ये संकल्पना भी उन्हीं की है. और ये संकल्पना, ये जो कॉन्सेप्ट है, ये कैसे आया? ये इस तरह से आया कि अभी जो स्थितियां हैं भारत देश की, जिस तरह की लाइफस्टाइल लोग जी रहे हैं, बच्चे इंक्लूडिंग ऑफ कोर्स. पहले बच्चे, हम लोग जब छोटे थे तो हम लोग के पास एक ही काम था, हम लोग मार खाते थे तो इसलिए कि हम पढ़ नहीं रहे हैं, खेल रहे हैं। अभी दूसरी स्थितियां हैं, अभी बच्चे खेलने के लिए डांट का तो खेल नहीं रहा है, मोबाइल देख रहा है। तो अभी जो लाइफस्टाइल है, लाइफस्टाइल बॉर्न डिजीजेज जो है वो बहुत ज़्यादा, ब्लड प्रेशर, शुगर, ओबेसिटी, इससे लगभग हर दूसरा तीसरा बंदा अफेक्टेड मिल जाएगा। तो एक ये कॉन्सेप्ट आया कि हम ऐसी एक्टिविटी शुरू करें, एक ऐसी कैंपेन शुरू करें जिसमें लोगों को फिटनेस एक्टिविटी के लिए हम उनको इंडक्ट कर सकें। और साथ ही साथ, चूंकि आपने अगर कंपेयर किया होगा, आप में से जो लोग विदेशों को जानते हैं, ईस्ट एशियन कंट्रीज, द वेस्टर्न कंट्रीज, वहाँ पे लोग काफ़ी अपने हेल्थ के प्रति बहुत सजग हैं। और आपको कोई ना कोई एक्सरसाइज करते, साइकिलिंग करते, दौड़ते हुए, जिम करते हुए मिल ही जाएंगे। स्पोर्ट्स एक तरह से उनके यहाँ कंपलसरी है, परंतु भारत में ऐसा अभी तक नहीं हो पाया है। तो हमारा उद्देश्य यही है कि हम ऐसे इवेंट ऑर्गेनाइज करें, ऐसी परिस्थितियां जनरेट करें, ऐसे सर्कमस्टांसेस डेवलप करें कि जिसमें लोग प्रेरित हों, मोटिवेट हों कि वो फिटनेस एक्टिविटीज को अडॉप्ट करें। और हम ये उनको बताएं कि फिटनेस कोई बर्डनसम काम नहीं है। जब अपन किसी लेजी से आदमी को सुबह सुबह बिस्तर से उठा के बोलेंगे कि यार चलना है, तो वो बोलेगा कि नहीं यार अभी नहीं जाना है, मतलब सोने दो यार, सोने से ज़्यादा अच्छा स्वास्थ्य बनता है। परंतु हम लोगों ने इसीलिए सोचा है, जो माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी का भी एक स्लोगन है कि फिटनेस की डोज आधा घंटा रोज। कहने का आशय यह है कि बहुत ज़्यादा समय आपको अपने आप को फिट रहने के लिए नहीं देना है, सिर्फ आधा घंटा पर्याप्त है। और साथ ही साथ यह है कि फिटनेस इज इजी, फिटनेस इज फन। हम फन फील्ड एक्टिविटीज के मार्फत उनको एक मोटिवेशन देते हैं कि एक्चुअली फिटनेस जो है वो फन भी है। तो इसी एक्टिविटी के अंतर्गत हम लोगों ने संडेज ऑन साइकिल का अभियान शुरू किया है, जिसका थोड़ा सा जिक्र मनोहर जी ने किया था। संडेज ऑन साइकिल, साइकिल क्यों, पहली बात साइकिल के सारे फायदे उन्होंने बता ही दिए हैं। हम ऐसे बंदे को अगर उठा करके ले आ रहे हैं जो बहुत सालों से फिटनेस एक्टिविटी से दूर है, और हम उसको रिगरस फिजिकल फिटनेस रिजीम में डाल देंगे तो उसको तमाम इंजरी हो जाएंगी। साइकिल इस मामले में ये है, कूल है, इट्स कूल ऑन योर बॉडी, इट्स कूल ऑन योर नीज, इट्स कूल ऑन योर जॉइंट्स, एंड इट गिव्स यू मोबिलिटी ऑल्सो। इनफैक्ट मेरे को टेनिस खेलते खेलते एक इंजरी हुई थी, और साइकिलिंग के जरिए वो सही हो गई, क्योंकि वो मेरी मसल जो है वो उससे एक्टिवेट भी हो गई और उस पर कोई प्रेशर भी नहीं पड़ा। तो इस तरह की एक्टिविटी है साइकिलिंग। और दूसरा, एक जैसे हमारे माननीय मंत्री डॉक्टर मनसुख मांडविया जी कहते हैं कि साइकिलिंग इज पोल्यूशन का सोल्यूशन। एक ये भी एक बड़ा फायदा है। हम ये चाहते हैं कि एंड टू एंड कम्यूटिंग में साइकिलिंग यूज हो। स्मार्ट बाइक्स इसमें बहुत अच्छा काम कर रही है, मैं उनको अप्रिशिएट करना चाहूँगा कि अभी कुछ दिन पहले हमारी साइकिलिंग एडवाइजरी कमेटी, उसकी भी बैठक हुई थी। माननीय डॉक्टर मनसुख मांडविया जी ने इसका कॉन्सेप्ट रखा है कि हम एक कमेटी बनाएं और वो तमाम चीज़ें सुझाएं कि हम कैसे साइकिलिंग को बढ़ावा दे सकते हैं। तो एंड टू एंड कम्यूटिंग एक ऐसी चीज़ है जो, अगर हम पहली बात तो यह है कि लोगों को अपने व्हीकल से हटा करके उनको पब्लिक व्हीकल्स पे शिफ्ट करें, तो हमारे सड़कों पे जो कंजेशन है, आप लोग यहाँ अक्सर फील करते होंगे, दिल्ली, मुंबई, बेंगलुरु, इन सब जगहों पे अक्सर फील करते होंगे कि बहुत ज़्यादा कंजेशन है। तो ये कंजेशन हटेगा कि उनको पहले अपने व्हीकल, जो उन्होंने, एक ही घर में चार चार कार हैं, चार भाई हैं, चार बहनें हैं, तो चार कारें रखें, वो लोग चार कार अलग दिशा में जाती हैं, अड़ोसी पड़ोसी हैं, तमाम व्हीकल रखे हैं और सब अलग अलग उससे जाते हैं। उनको हम पब्लिक ट्रांसपोर्ट पर शिफ्ट करें, और जहाँ पे उनका स्टेशन है वहाँ से कम्यूटिंग के लिए साइकिल उपलब्ध हो, जो कि स्मार्ट सिटी, स्मार्ट बाइक्स जो है दिल्ली में, हैदराबाद में भी सर,
हैदराबाद, चंडीगढ़,
चंडीगढ़, इन सब में प्रोवाइड कर रही है, विच इज़ वेरी प्रेज वर्दी। इन दिस मीटिंग ऑफ cycling advisory committee, we proposed this thing can be adopted to DMRC, Delhi Metro Rail Corporation, and the initial response that they showed was very kind of welcoming, and hopefully we are moving in that direction, and very soon we will provide a solution to end community। and इससे क्या होगा, हमारे सड़कों पे कंजेशन भी कम होगा, और जो पोल्यूशन का सोल्यूशन, अभी हमारे माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी ने अपील की है कि हम गाड़ियों का यूसेज कम करें, धीरे धीरे हम उस लेवल पे आ जाएंगे। साथ ही साथ ये भी है कि जैसे ये गाड़ियां कम होंगी, दिल्ली की समस्याएं तो आप लोग जानते हैं जो सर्दी में होती हैं, उन समस्याओं से भी काफ़ी निजात मिलेगी, क्योंकि मैक्सिमम जो कंट्रीब्यूटर है वो यही चीज़ है। आज भी आप लोगों को याद होगा, आप सब निश्चित रूप से उस एक्सपीरियंस से गुजर चुके होंगे, जब कोविड का टाइम था और सड़कों पे गाड़ियां एकदम बंद थीं। मैंने सुना है कि लुधियाना या जालंधर से हिमालय दिखता था, जो सिर्फ मेरी पीढ़ी नहीं नहीं मेरी से पिछली पीढ़ी ने और शायद उससे पिछली पीढ़ी ने तो देखा होगा, लेकिन ये दो पीढ़ियों ने तो नहीं देखा है, और हमारी आगे वाली पीढ़ी की तो बात ही करना बेमानी है। तो ये भी एक सोल्यूशन है जो हम उसमें कर रहे हैं। हर संडे हम पूरे भारत में साइकिलिंग कराते हैं, और साई के जो आर्म्स हैं, इसके अलावा खेलो इंडिया के जो आर्म्स हैं, खेलो इंडिया सेंटर्स एंड ऑल, खेलो इंडिया अक्रेडिटेड एकेडमीज, हमारे कुछ नमो फिट इंडिया क्लब हैं, करीब 4,500 क्लब हैं हमारे साथ जुड़े हुए साइकिलिंग के, जिसमें ये स्मार्ट बाइक्स एक है। तो ये लोग भी अपनी अपनी जगहों पे आयोजित करते हैं। इस बार हम लोग वर्ल्ड बाइसिकल डे पे एक बड़ा कैंपेन लिए हैं, जो पहले भूमिका मैंने आपको बताई थी कि भारत की छवि विदेशों में कैसी है। तो एक तो हमारा कैंपेन लेने का आशय ये भी था कि हम विश्व को दिखा सके कि देखिए, भारत में इतनी जनसंख्या, इतने सारे खेल हैं, और आप तो गिनती नहीं कर सकते खेलों की। हमारे यहाँ इंडिजिनस खेल इतने हैं, लोग खेलते रहते हैं। तो वो एक छवि गढ़ने का भी समय है। उस जो कैद कर दिया गया है हमको एक व्हाट यू कॉल दैट स्टेरियोटिपिकल इमेज में, उससे बाहर निकलने का समय है। तो हम ये चाहते हैं कि 7 जून को जो संडे पड़ रहा है, उस दिन वर्ल्ड बाइसिकल डे के उपलक्ष्य में हम 1 लाख लोग से ज्यादा लोग साइकिल राइड करें। और मुझे ये बताते हुए हर्ष हो रहा है कि मैंने अभी लेटेस्ट डेटा देखा, रजिस्ट्रेशन हमारे 3,81,000 हो चुके हैं। लेकिन 1 लाख का डेटा हम पार कर चुके हैं, इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि जो लोग और कर सकते हैं वो करें नहीं, बिल्कुल करें। और मैं सभी लोगों से अपील करता हूं कि इसमें पार्टिसिपेट करें। इसका रजिस्ट्रेशन भी फिट इंडिया के पोर्टल पे ओपन है। आप लोग दिल्ली में या कहीं पे 270 जगहों पे हो रहा है। इनफैक्ट हमने क्रीड़ा भारती को भी अभी उनके साथ समन्वय कोऑर्डिनेशन स्टैब्लिश किया है, और वो करीब 540 जिलों में कर रहे हैं। तो भारत के बहुत सारे जिलों में हो रहा है। मैं आप लोगों से एक निवेदन करूंगा कि यदि इसमें सम्मिलित हो सके तो ये बहुत अच्छा होगा इस देश के लिए भी। और एक और चीज मैं बताना चाहता हूं कि हम कैसे सपोर्ट कर रहे हैं साइकिलिंग को। हमारे माननीय खेल मंत्री जी का एक विचार था, एक उनका ये आइडिया था कि हमारा एक ऐप है, फिट इंडिया मोबाइल ऐप, 14 लाख करीब डाउनलोड्स हैं इसके। और इसमें उन्होंने एक ये किया है, अभी कार्बन क्रेडिट का किसी ने ऐसे ही जिक्र किया था, हमने कार्बन क्रेडिट को एक्चुअली इम्प्लीमेंट कर दिया है। जो हमारा ऐप यूज करेगा, साइकिलिंग करेगा, उसके पास कार्बन क्रेडिट ऑलरेडी इकट्ठा हो जाएगा। और हमने उस कार्बन क्रेडिट को सिर्फ इकट्ठा करके उनको दिखा नहीं रहे कि भाई तूने इतना कार्बन बचा लिया है। एक्चुअली वी हैव इंसेंटिवाइज्ड the accumulation of carbon credits. So we have got entered into a contract with a company. That company converts this carbon credit into carbon credit coins, and that coin can be encashed to purchase some stuffs. So फिटस्पायर के साथ हमारा ये करार हुआ है, ये कॉन्ट्रैक्ट हुआ है। इसके अलावा अभी हम शीघ्र ही इसको कैश भी देंगे। हम एक लीडर बोर्ड बनाते हैं उसमें कि इस महीने किसने सबसे ज्यादा साइकिल चलाई, जो हमारा ऐप यूज कर रहा है। कैन यू थिंक ऑफ इट कि पूरे देश में साइकिल सबसे ज्यादा किसने चलाई, वो हमारे ऐप में एकदम लीडर बोर्ड बना हुआ है, और उसमें उनके नाम हैं, उनके नाम और नंबर हैं कि ये बंदे साइकिल इतनी किलोमीटर चलाए। ये जो पहले 21st लीडर बोर्ड में होंगे, हम उनको इंसेंटिव देंगे कैश का। बहुत जल्दी हम ये शुरू करने वाले हैं। और इसके साथ ही अभी और कंपनियों से भी कॉन्ट्रैक्ट होगा, और हम ये कोशिश कर रहे हैं कि डिकैथलॉन एट्सेट्रा एट्सेट्रा इन सब से भी ये करार हो जाए, और ये लोग उन कॉइन्स को वहाँ पे इनकैश करने में मदद कर सकें। तो ये जो वर्ल्ड बाइसिकल डे पे सेलिब्रेशन पे मैं फिर वापस आता हूँ कि ये इसका जो आशय है, जो मैंने पहले बताया आपको, कि एक तो वो है कि एक 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 ये है कि हम अपनी छवि को नए ढंग से क्या है, आप सबको पता है कि इस देश में करोड़ों लोग साइकिल चला रहे हैं कहीं ना कहीं एक साथ। एट एनी पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम, एट एनी गिवन मोमेंट, plenty lakhs of people are riding bicycles, बट वो दुनिया को नहीं पता है, दुनिया को छवि जा रही है वो केवल क्रिकेट की। तो ये उनको दिखाना है कि भाई हमारे यहाँ ऑलरेडी बहुत सारे राइडर्स हैं। इसके अलावा जो फिटनेस का हमारा गोल है वो भी एक उसका उद्देश्य है। हम लोगों को इंडक्ट करना चाहते हैं फिटनेस एक्टिविटीज में। और ये साइकिलिंग की एक्टिविटी, जैसा मैंने पहले बताया कि ये इसके बहुत सारे फायदे हैं, सिर्फ फिटनेस का ही फायदा नहीं है, इन्वायरमेंट का भी फायदा है, उसके लिए भी हम कर रहे हैं। हम व्हीकल फ्री कैंपेन भी इस दिशा में कर रहे हैं। मैं ये बताना चाहूँगा सर को कि और यहाँ पे मैम भी हैं जो महुआ से हैं, और इसमें मैम आप लोगों की भी बहुत भूमिका है। इनफैक्ट हम लोगों ने जो साइकिलिंग एडवाइजरी कमेटी है उसमें महुआ के एक रिप्रेजेंटेटिव को इस बार बुलाया था, अनफॉर्चुनेटली इस बार नहीं आ पाए। परंतु चूंकि जो अर्बन डिज़ाइन है उसके लिए ये मिनिस्ट्री उत्तरदायी है, तो हम लोग उसको इसीलिए उसमें इंडक्ट कर रहे थे। तो व्हीकल फ्री कैंपेन एक ऐसी कैंपेन है जिसमें हम लोगों को मोटिवेट कर रहे हैं कि जो क्लोज्ड कैंपसेस हैं यूनिवर्सिटीज़ के, कॉलेजेस के, इत्यादि इत्यादि, और इवन कंपनीज के, वो अपने कैंपस को व्हीकल फ्री रखें, उसके अंदर व्हीकल ना अलाउड करें। ये संभव है क्या? मैं बहुत निराशावादी हूँ। भारत में एक चीज काम करने के लिए बहुत मेहनत करनी पड़ती है, बहुत पुश करना पड़ता है। और मतलब एक तरह से कह लें वो समुंदर पे वो ब्रिज बनाना पड़ता है जो नल नील बना गए थे, वैसा टाइप का। So, giving you optimism, now we conducted a research. There are already, we encountered some 21 institutes, sir. 21 institutes in India that are already doing it. The greatest example is Infosys campus of Mysuru. मैसूरू का इन्फोसिस कैंपस, वहां पे आप जाएंगे अंदर, आपको वहां पे मतलब पेरीफेरी पे ही आपका व्हीकल का पार्किंग है। देर आर प्लेंटी ऑफ एरियाज वेयर साइकिल्स आर केप्ट, एंड you then pick up a cycle and you go to that place. Of course there are some people who can't ride, then for them there is a battery operated vehicle. So there is IIM Ranchi, there is IIM Shillong, there is IIT Hyderabad, there are Shivanadar University of Noida and in Chennai. So there are at least 21 institutes. And this World Bicycle Day celebration on 7th, we are going to felicitate at least 15 of them. 5 of them will come to Delhi. So we have started a Fern Award for them. Fern, Fit India, Empowering रिन्यूएबल एंड ग्रीन मोबिलिटी। हम उसके लिए तो उनको हम एक भुवनेश्वर में किड्स कैंपस है, किड्स का फुल फॉर्म है, अनफॉर्चुनेटली भी पूरा याद नहीं आ रहा है। तो
किड्स कैंप्स,
या किड्स का कैंपस है सर, और कलिंगा इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ समथिंग। सो वो लोग का, उनके 2 कैंपस है, उनके 40,000 स्टूडेंट हैं। आपको आश्चर्य होगा कि 40,000 स्टूडेंट को उन्होंने साइकिल दे रखी है। Within campus, they all roam around only in cycle. So that is how it is. So now things are actually, when you start digging deep into something, you find that it's already happening. You just need to promote these people and then motivate, induct other people to join in. So I would request all of you also to kindly spread this message, and if you can motivate some people, some campuses to go green, please motivate them. एंड वेल, जैसा मैंने वादा किया था कि 11 मिनट कम बोलूंगा, तो समय आ गया है। मैं आप सबको एक बार पुनः धन्यवाद देता हूं, और मनोहर जी को विशेष रूप से धन्यवाद देता हूं मुझे बुलाने के लिए। और ये गैदरिंग देख करके बहुत अच्छा लगा मुझे। ये बहुत पैशनेट और आई वुड से डेडिकेटेड लोगों की गैदरिंग है जो साइकिलिंग और उससे जुड़े हेल्थ बेनिफिट्स को प्रमोट करना चाहते हैं। थैंक यू वेरी मच अगेन।
Thank you very much, Mayank ji.
let's begin, right?
You are doing quite a lot to promote cycling across the country, and we wish you all success, and we are with you all the way. When you mentioned about kids, the acronym, then I'm reminded of CAVE people. None of us are CAVE people. CAVE stands for Citizens Against Virtually Everything. CAVE. So their job is to oppose citizens against virtually everything. CAVE people. So fortunately, none of us belong to that category, but we have them amongst us. and their job is to oppose everything, and our job is to prevail upon them, persuade them to fall in line and support good initiatives. Then, well, he mentioned, Mayankji mentioned about the T-shirts. The T-shirts are sponsored by Sports Authority of India, and all of you will get the
Now,
T-shirts.
we don't like this word sponsor. Okay. We are not sponsors as part of Government of India. Of course, we are contributing to it with your collaboration, with your support.
Thank you. Thank you. And all of you will get, when you leave, you'll get the T-shirts. We have enough T-shirts to cover everyone here. And our request is wear those T-shirts and participate in the cycling event, forthcoming cycling event on Sunday the 7th. We'll give you the
No,
cycle.
please come. Please come. We have got, we have arranged by all hooks and crooks and, other methods. 1,000 cycles we keep at Delhi. So Jawaharlal Nehru Stadium, 7 a.m. is the flag off time. Before that, you can come. And because, as I told you, our registrations are very high. In Delhi, it's nearly 40,000. But we expect at least 10,000 people will come on that day. So, JLN, sir, JLN Stadium. No, there is no velodrome. Velodrome is in IG Stadium. Yeah, but here around that JLN.
Okay, now we break for coffee and tea, and in the business session. Yeah, next session. How would you like to speak now? Because no, yeah. See, in the next session, we will have Miss Rohini Gupta, Director Mohua, Mr. A.K. Jain, and Sir Graham Watson. He is President of the World Cycling Alliance and former member of European Parliament for 5 terms. He is my senior. He is the president and I'm the first vice president. And Miss Laurianne Krid. She is the CEO of European Cyclist Federation. They will share what they are doing to promote cycling in Europe and across the world. And particularly Laurianne, she is making a very interesting PowerPoint presentation. So we request all of you to stay. And we requested Rohina ji to be in that session because she is going to speak about what is happening in India and how Mohua is promoting cycling and what they will be doing in future for cycling promotion. And we want that to be heard by the international dignitaries. So we break for coffee.
15 minutes?
Yeah.
15 minutes. So, स्वर्ण में हम रहने वाले हैं गाजीपुर जिले के।
Hello. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Hi, sir. This is Debashish Panda. I'm the Vice President of SmartBike Mobility. It's a pleasure to have both of you here.
Pleasure to be
Hello.
with you.
Yeah.
Morning, Laurianne.
So we'll just do a small technical check here right now with you guys. First of all, Laurianne ma'am, I checked with our technical team. Just want to check in with you. Would you prefer if we do the do we run the presentation from your end, or would you prefer running it from your end? I mean, obviously the tech team is saying that it's better if you take it from your end, but I just want to know your thoughts on that.
Sure, I can do
Yeah.
it.
So let's just, if you want, we can just quickly start the presentation, and we can just do a quick tech check if that's all right, ma'am. Just to
Sorry,
see if there is a.
I was also maybe trying to do it from my end. Do you think it's possible? I can just share it on Zoom, or is it
Yeah,
not
yeah,
sufficient?
it is possible.
Then
You
I'll
can,
just do that.
yeah, you can just do that, and then I can ask the team to check it out immediately. You can have a quick run through if you're all right, ma'am, if you'd like
Yeah.
that.
You can see the first slide now,
Yeah, I can.
and then can you see it moving?
Perfect. It's all right. Yeah, it's moving.
Okay, then
So I
it's
think we
easy
can.
enough.
Yeah.
Then I can do it
You
myself.
good?
I stopped sharing now, though. No?
Sorry, I'm just one minute. This is the second slide. Ma'am, could you just move to
Yes.
the third slide just in case? Yeah, all good, all good. All good, ma'am. You can stop the presentation. Thank you. Sir, I was just checking if you have any presentations, or would you just be going on with the speech?
I have no slides. I'll just be
Yeah.
talking to you.
All right.
And it'll be a bit shorter probably than 15 minutes because you'll have a lot of people wanting to come in.
It's perfectly all right. So your presence is something that's that has already raised the bar of our national seminar here, and it's a pleasure to have both of you here.
Thank you very much. Pleasure to see Graham as well. Hope you're well. It's been a while.
Yeah, so we're just gonna, the team has quickly broken for lunch, for breakfast. The participants and the speakers have all gone for a quick tea, coffee, and some sandwiches. If you would have been there, I would have loved to offer both of you guys the same. But yeah, we'll just wait for the session to reach, the business session to start at 11:45.
Okay. If it's all right with you, then I will go and grab a quick cup of tea.
Yeah.
But I'll leave the screen on.
Yeah, sure, no problem. So that
Okay,
means we'll be starting in the next 20 minutes.
Okay, I'll be back with you.
Okay, it's
Sure.
in 20 minutes. Yep.
Thank you,
See
sir.
you then. Thank
Thank you,
you.
sir. Thank you, ma'am.
And just maybe one last question. Do you start with Graham or do you start with me? Just to know, probably best to start with Graham, right? Or what's the order? Do you know?
So first, I think we're going with Ms. Rohina Gupta, who is the Director of Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs in Government of India. Then we'll be proceeding with Sir Graham Watson, and then I think we'll be moving on to you, ma'am.
Okay, perfect.
Give me just 5 minutes. This is what the tentative schedule is, but I'll just quickly check in, and I'll confirm you, preferably over WhatsApp or to both of you in text.
Yeah,
Yeah?
sounds good. Just to have an idea of the flow. But the way you describe is perfect. So that's
I'll
very
just
good.
confirm the flow within the next 5 minutes.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you so
Enjoy
much.
the tea then, everyone.
Thank you. We'll connect soon within the next 20 minutes.
We are starting the next session in the next couple of minutes. Okay. Welcome back. We'll be starting our next session. We have online Sir Graham Watson, President World Cycling Alliance, and Miss Laurianne Krid, CEO of European Cyclists Federation. Graham, thank you very much for joining, and Laurianne, it is great to have you. Can you hear me? They were on the line. Okay. Will you please connect them? Please check up the international speakers. They are told to come back in 10 minutes. Oh. There seems to be a communication gap. Yeah. Now we want. You are connected? Okay. Yeah, I'll text them. Because they're having coffee. They thought probably they would also retire for coffee. Yes, has come. Yeah. He's there. Yeah.
Hello. Yeah, we were there to make the test. And then
Hey.
we were told there's still a tea break, so we were told we could get our own coffee and then come for you.
Now, Laurianne, we are back. And we are about
sorry.
to start. Yeah, we are about to start the session. And we are so happy that you have joined us. And I'm sure Graham also will join soon. I'll message him to join quickly.
Yeah, I'll do that. Thank you very much. We were just told we had 20 minutes. We just did the test. And then we were told we had 20 more minutes until you had tea and breakfast. So that's why we both left to get a coffee, but I'm sure he'll be back soon.
Sorry
Thanks
for
so much for the
communication gap.
invitation. It's very nice to be here.
Start. Okay. Trying to get Graham, Sir Graham Watson. He'll send him a message. Can you start? Okay. Friends, in this session, we'll have first address by Ms. Rohina Gupta, Director Urban Planning, Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. She is a highly qualified and well-experienced professional, and she is leading India's efforts to make our cities more livable and better and better. Over to Ms. Rohina, please.
Thank you very much, Manohar ji. Very good morning to all the distinguished dignitaries on the dais, Shri K. and Srivastava sir. Is it not? Okay, I'll speak louder. Very good morning to the distinguished dignitaries on the dais, Shri K. and Srivastava sir, Mr. Mayank, Mr. D.V. Manohar ji, Madam Manohar, and our online participants, Sir Graham Watson and Miss Laurianne Krid, and to all the august gathering who is present over here today. Very good morning. It's truly a privilege to be part of this national seminar on smart and sustainable mobility through cycling being organized on this World Bicycle Day 2026. At the outset, I'd like to congratulate the organizers, World Cycling Alliance, SmartBike, India International Center, and the other partner organizations for bringing together the policymakers and urban planners, the people from the media, experts, practitioners, and citizens to deliberate on this subject, which is increasingly becoming central to the future of our cities. Today, as we celebrate World Bicycle Day, we are not merely celebrating a vehicle. We are celebrating an idea of how we can transform our cities, how we can make them more resilient, how we can make them cleaner, healthier, and that mobility should not just be efficient and sustainable. This idea is also about how some of the most complex urban challenges can have very, very simple solutions, and that one simple solution is a bicycle. So today, India, as we know, is witnessing rapid urbanization. We are already 500 million people who are living in our cities in India. And very soon, in the next 2 decades, we are looking at about 800 to 850 million people residing in our cities, which is half the population of the country by 2047. These are the estimates. So while this rapid urbanization is giving us lots of opportunities in terms of economic growth, in terms of how our cities work, for innovation, for improved quality of life, we are also facing challenges, as we know, related to mobility, related to traffic congestion, related to pollution. We've discussed few of these, loss of public spaces, road safety, and how we can the health and lifestyle related issues. So these are some of the complex challenges we are looking at today. And we know that globally, the data says that around 50 to 70% of the urban trips are short trips. They're less than 5 kilometers in length. So most of the urban trips, and we see the traffic congestion on our roads, but these trips can be very easily converted to cycling or pedestrian trips, because people are going to schools, children are going to schools, they're going to work, they're going to colleges, they're going to metros, taking a metro or whatever. So, or grocery shopping, going to the dispensary. So neighborhoods are becoming increasingly important to relook at, and how we can integrate this non-mobility infrastructure into these neighborhoods. So we have to ask ourselves, should we continue to expand our cities to move around automobiles, or should we create cities that prioritize people? And this answer will determine the future of urban India. So in the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, we have been consistently promoting non-mobility related infrastructure, so NMT infrastructure related to pedestrianization, related to cycling, because we know that one vision is very clear, that our cities should be designed for people and not just for vehicles. So the mobility paradigm that we are looking at in Mahua is to create integrated, inclusive, sustainable, technology-enabled, and climate-responsive cities. And this vision that I'm speaking about has been reflected across various initiatives and programs that Mahua has initiated over the last few years, which includes the Smart City Mission, it includes the Amrut Mission. We speak about, we are nudging cities, and we are seeing how step by step we are bringing back what we used to once have, when we used to travel to our schools on cycles, when we used to cycle in our neighborhoods, within our townships, within our communities. It used to be such a pleasurable experience at that point. So how can we bring that back to our cities? Can we have complete streets where we can look at pedestrianization, we can look at cycling, we can look at last mile connectivity, and how public transport can now come back more kind of in an integrated manner, such that our cities and our streets are inclusive and accessible to all. Through Amrut also, we have been promoting various walkability and mobility initiatives. Another paradigm that Mahua has been actively promoting of late is the transit-oriented development. So while we were having a conversation in the morning of how the metros are going from platform to platform, what happens outside it? How can we look at our neighborhoods and make sure that the last mile connectivity is more enabling to pedestrians, to cyclists, within the given constraints, I might say, of the weather, the climate, and other things. So, like for example, in Hyderabad, as Sir knows, 23 kilometers along the outer ring road has been taken up as a cycling corridor with shaded roofs, and this shading is done with solar panels. So that's an innovative solution to a simple problem. So, and that is generating electricity. It is allowing people to come and cycle happily. We have various opportunities in our Indian cities, whether it is a riverfront development. So our cities, like we were speaking in the morning, they're blessed with all sorts of varied landscapes. So some cities have, they're lake cities. We have rivers flowing through most of our cities. We have hilly terrains, and each of them can be a joy to cycle. But we have to create the infrastructure and bring that back into the cities. So further initiatives by our ministry include the Urban Challenge Fund, where again we have a focused approach on cities taking up projects related to non-motorized transport, related to pedestrianization. We are encouraging, and we, I think, look forward to the time where we can look at neighborhoods where children can walk and cycle to schools. We have a separate cycle lane. We have mothers who are able to, carry their child in one this thing, and the other child can be cycling. So can we make our cities and streets accessible without any barriers? So the urban design, the urban planning aspect has to really come in. And we have to start looking at these cities and these streets all over again and see what are the barriers. Are there encroachments? Are there signages? Are there street lights? So safety, safe crossings, continuity, footpaths, they all have to be looked at in a very, very cohesive manner. And we have various global experiences where we can look at them. We also have now local experiences. Our cities in, we have cycling tracks, like we said, in Hyderabad, we have PCMC or Pune, we have Chennai, we have Chandigarh. So various opportunities are there which need to be explored. So we have to look at building connected networks. For example, from one park to another park, can we just cycle and make, like, you can have park connectors, and whichever other small parks or green areas, can we look at that whole experience and the joy of cycling and walking from one to the other? So we have to bring back integrated park connectors and seeing how these are safe and resilient. And of course, shared mobility systems. For example, when you come out of a metro station, can we have and more cities having these parking lots for bicycles? The last mile connectivity, can we take through the cycle? Can we walk to work? Can we look at more mixed use development within our cities? So these are the things that have been promoted, and they are being promoted and incentivized, or these reforms are coming back. We are speaking to the cities. So from Mahua, from various initiatives, this is something that we want our cities to look at neighborhood by neighborhood, station by station, and seeing what can be done to bring this back to our cities. So I would say that, like we discussed, it's not only what the government can do, it's also what the citizens can do. How can we bring that awareness back? Because as we know that when we develop footpaths, there's a lot of times when there's encroachment. There's a lot of times when there's parking on the footpaths also. So even if these networks are developed and the governments in the cities are taking these initiatives, as citizens, that behavioral change really needs to be, promoted to kind of make sure that we leave these spaces, we give the first right of the space, road space, to the citizens who are walking, who are cycling, and then to the ones who are on their vehicles. So I think each stakeholder has a big role to play here, whether it is a policymaker who's creating these urban frameworks, whether it is an urban planner who's promoting this active mobility in the cities, architects who are promoting it within the townships, in the townships, like we discussed, in the universities, if these campuses can become only walkable, or in the offices, and that's the first experience, I might say, as a child who grows up. If the child is cycling to school, if the child is able to cycle within this campus and back to this thing, that is how we develop that culture of cycling. So that is something that has to be given utmost importance. So communities must participate. I think these kind of events that we're organizing for creating this awareness is a welcome step. It's a much needed step. and citizens should embrace this opportunity and make the most of it and look forward to these smart mobility choices. So together, when all the stakeholders collaborate, we can create a virtuous cycle that transforms our cities into safe, sustainable, inclusive, and resilient cities and pave the way for a Viksit Bharat 2047. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you very much, Ms. Rohina Gupta, for a very interesting analysis. Now we'll have our international speakers, Sir Graham Watson. Graham, are you there?
Yes, Manohar, I am here. Very good to see you.
Good.
Very good to be with you all.
Yeah, Sir Graham Watson is my senior in the World Cycling Alliance. He is the president of World Cycling Alliance, and he was member of the European Parliament for 5 terms or 4 terms.
4 terms. Yes.
4 terms. And we are privileged to have him lead the World Cycling Alliance. Now, over to you, Graham.
Well, thank you, Manohar, and happy World Bicycle Day. It's great that you've chosen to organize this. And in particular, I would like to register my thanks to you, Manohar, for all of the work you have done, not only to get this together, but as a vice president of the World Cycling Alliance. I'm sure that many of the people following this conference today will be aware of some of the things you've done. They may not be really aware of quite what a remarkable person you are. So let me just share with everyone today some things about Manohar. Not only has Manohar cycled for many kilometers, or as we would still say in the United Kingdom, many miles in India, but he has also cycled at least once, and I think twice, from London to Paris. He has established a bike share system in at least 5 major Indian cities. And he is now working with ministers and officials on a national cycling strategy for India. It's thanks to you, Manohar, that we have made such progress in recent years. And as president of the World Cycling Alliance, I salute you and I commend your efforts. Let me congratulate you too, as India, on the advances you have made. Not only are you moving towards having a national cycling strategy, but you've made big advances, as I saw when I was teaching a few years ago at the Symbiosis University in Pune. You've made big advances in certain cities. You've made big advances in bike sharing. You have, as the honorable speaker who preceded me mentioned, a major development in Hyderabad with a long cycle path and solar panels integrated into it, showing the rest of the world exactly the kind of things that can be done, but which we need to speed up. Your advances are being followed worldwide. I know that many African countries are looking to what you are doing. I know that you have participated actively in things like the World Bicycle Forum and VeloCity. You are not only helping us to understand what is possible, but you are also learning at the same time from global best practice. And that is what we seek to do in the World Cycling Alliance. And I'm very pleased to say that humankind is slowly becoming healthier through cleaner air. I know that in a country which has problems like the air pollution that you have in Delhi, it doesn't always seem that we are making progress, but we are. People are becoming healthier through more exercise, and life on the planet is slowly becoming more sustainable. My experience as a bureau member or vice president of the European Cyclists Federation and as president of the World Cycling Alliance is that tremendous progress is being made, even if it is not yet generally appreciated. And if you want one example of how to measure this progress, look at what is becoming known as bike-lash, a backlash against cycling from motorists and from others. You had a small but quite well-known example of it in Kolkata about 13 years ago. We've seen it in North America and in Europe much more recently. But what this means is that we are winning, that we are establishing better opportunities for people to cycle, and that some other road users, particularly car drivers, have begun to recognize this too. It's very strange. The motor car has not been with us for many generations. And yet it has taken us at least 100 years to understand the huge damage being done by the hydrocarbon-fueled combustion engine. The damage to life in view of the numbers of people killed on the roads, the damage to public health from the air pollution that destroys our lungs and harms our brains, the damage to our neighborhoods as traffic congestion disrupts human lives, and to the very survival of our species on Earth, as the burning of fossil fuels drives climate change. And yet, meanwhile, the motor car has become a symbol of freedom for many people, a symbol which many people aspire to own. I believe it was the scientist Einstein, after living for some years in America, who observed that the only things which are infinite are the universe and man's stupidity. And then he added, and I'm not sure about the universe. So humankind has a huge problem. The challenge of persuading people to dream not of owning and always using a car, but of living in a society in which motor cars are available when they are needed, powered by electricity, but in which people have better alternatives for transporting themselves around. You know, some people say, well, we simply replace all the petrol and diesel cars on the roads with electric models. But come on, even if we had enough rare earths to make the batteries for so many vehicles, and we do not, the process of building another 1.4 billion motor cars would emit so much carbon that we would all fry before they were ever driven. What we need most is better public transport between and within our cities, car sharing schemes for when a car is needed, but much more active travel. In other words, walking and cycling. And these are things for which we campaign and you campaign, and we are beginning to see progress. You know, in some countries in Europe, in China, in India, in some respects, the tasks are relatively easy because bicycles were a major means of transport until fairly recently, and now they are popular again. For women, what was first called the freedom machine now once more allows them to travel around quickly and safely at very little cost. For women and men, they are an easy way of getting about in town and of practicing leisure activity in the country. In India, although you've a major, proud history of cycling events like the Tour of Nilgiris or mountain bike Himalaya, the car culture is still difficult to overcome, and yet even here, a transformation is happening. Your government is building fast railway lines linking your major cities. You've made a start with light urban railway systems, as you can see in Hyderabad on Sardar Patel Road. There's still a long way to go in terms of getting people to think of bicycles for short distance travel. We need more bicycle parking at metro stations, for example, but we are having an impact. We're acting to limit climate change. To live by the African proverb, which tells us that the best time to plant the tree was 20 years ago, but that the second best time is now. If we're serious about tackling climate change, we have to act fast and in every locality. But it's not rocket science. And when transport accounts for about 1/3 of all the greenhouse gas emissions, and when we know that 2 out of every 3 urban journeys are made for distances of less than 5 kilometers, then the answer is pretty simple. Because currently, more than half of those journeys are made by car or motorcycle, and they could easily be made by bicycle or on foot. Many goods could be delivered by cargo bike. The development of electric bicycles means that age or physical strength are not the problem they used to be. When Ronaldo Singh from Manipur won the silver medal in the Asian Cycling Championships a couple of years ago, we all celebrated the glory that he brought to India. But at a more prosaic level, we can all do something like that. Cycling to work, cycling to school, cycling to university, cycling to shops, cycling to see friends or relatives in our free time. People who will join us in campaigning for easier access to bicycles through schemes like SmartBike and for infrastructure which provides safe parking spaces for bicycles, dedicated cycling paths. These are the things that we need. And let me just say in conclusion that the most important thing I learned in politics is that democracies are too often run by crisis management. Serious problems are not tackled until they become urgent. India may not be so far advanced at national level, but I've been impressed at what I've seen at state level and city level in your country, in places from Bihar to West Bengal, where more and more people, especially women, using bicycles, enjoying greater freedom and economic opportunity. Those are the kind of things that we need to be replicating across the world. Congratulations, India, for showing us the way.
Thank you very much, Graham, for sharing your thoughts. Sir Graham Watson visited India several times, and he visited Hyderabad. And when the dedicated cycling track 23 into 2, 46 kilometers with solar roof, when it was nearly ready, I took him there and I showed him. And he said, wow, I'm glad it is happening in India. Now it is fully operational. And Graham, we are operating it. We have providing a public bike sharing system at the dedicated cycling track there. And when he was in India, when he was in Hyderabad, he inaugurated for the students of Hyderabad Public School a club, and he exhorted them to cycle. And subsequently, the Hyderabad Public School told me that now a lot of students cycle to the school instead of coming in fancy cars. And thanks to you, Graham, you inspired them. And well, greetings on the occasion of the World Bicycle Day, and I look forward to meeting you soon. Thank you very much. We have Miss Laurianne Krid. She is the CEO of European Cyclist Federation. In fact, World Cycling Alliance is promoted by European Cyclist Federation, which is there since a long time and which is instrumental in promoting cycling all over Europe. And as the CEO, she oversees this growth and she would be sharing what they are doing in Europe for cycling promotion. And before you start, Laurianne, greetings on the occasion of World Bicycle Day. Over to you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for the invitation. It's a pleasure, although after hearing the two speakers before me, there's quite a lot that has been said. It's very interesting to see the developments in India, and we're very grateful to be part of this meeting today. So, as you mentioned, Manohar, we administer in a way, or we do the secretariat for the World Cycling Alliance. Our motto fits very well with this conference on World Bicycle Day, more and better cycling for all. And if you look, we did check and now it's not working. Apologies, I was going to change the slides. Yes. So it's mostly around the cycling as sustainable and healthy means of transport. Both speakers before explain how much transport and short trips in cities are instrumental in having a better quality of life, how the space has been developed in a way that puts car in the middle instead of citizens in the middle. So for us, what we want to push is really cycling is sustainable, it's healthy, it's good for transport as a transport mode. I think it was quite inspiring to see the Ministry of Transport of India kind of saying that very clearly. So Mrs. Rohina Gupta, when she was saying, did we build the city for people or did we build it for cars? And traditionally in Europe, and I assume in India, it was the same. It was built mostly around one mode of transport. So we advocate for having more modes, those that are better for the climate, better for the people themselves. And we have members in around Europe. You see the map here. We were established in 1983, so we've been working with our 70 members around, well, a bit more over 40 years now, so 43 years ago. We have a vision where basically it's focused very strongly on what can be done at government's level, at decision makers level. So it's very interesting for me to speak here and to see every one of you in their remit can do something to support cycling. The overall objective being for us to double the number of kilometers cycled in Europe. And the way and the means to get there is really more and better infrastructure. We see that there's a correlation when there is more infrastructure in better shape in people in taking up cycling. And on that, I also want to congratulate you in India on the national cycling strategies. We see in Europe, this is a winning strategy to embed cycling in a societal objective. So to look into cycling as being an objective on transport, but link it as well to the housing, to the way you run errand, the way you go from A to B. That's extremely important for us. So we work very closely on infrastructure. The challenge there is that obviously for infrastructure, you need money. So in our advocacy, we say 10% of national spending on transport should be invested in cycling or in active modes. So that's where we actually defined the target for Europe, but that's transposable somewhere else. And of course, we do need champions. We need politicians to actually take on the leadership, a bit like Sir Graham was doing just a while ago, just to kind of take ownership and encourage people to say, okay, this is actually the mode that we want to privilege. This is good for you. This is good for the planet. And this is good for society as well. And underlying, of course, better infrastructure, more kilometer cycle, safety is also very key. So we want to make sure that the cyclists don't incur additional risk when they cycle on our roads and on our cycling path. Interestingly, if you want just an order of magnitude, obviously, compared to a continent such as India, this is probably small in Europe, but in Europe, we have about now 900,000 kilometers of cycling paths and roads, not close to 1 million, but not quite, not all segregated, but sometimes, part of the road and painted and so on. So there's quite a lot to be done, but we have we've established the baseline across countries in Europe, and you have about 900,000 kilometers of roads available for cyclists, for leisure, but also for the day-to-day move. We are very kind of engaged at all levels. So in Europe, you have cities, you have regions, you have the national level, and then you have the European level. Everyone, it's a bit like a puzzle, so everyone can play a bit of role. Obviously, more is known at cities level about what's needed in a specific city. That's the example maybe of Hyderabad that you were saying. When a city and the local council makes the decision to invest and to provide the means, then of course you drive the use up. And I think I just want to empower to flag maybe as well the cycle friendly employer certification. So there we go to companies through our members, and we ask the companies to provide the employees with sufficient information, but also sufficient infrastructure for their employees to cycle to work. What does that mean? It means a better communication, sometimes shower available at the office, and some active communication. We have a lot of campaigns. This one just ended, but in various countries in Europe, you have May on a bike, culminating now with the World Bicycle Day, that encourages more people to cycle, because there's quite a lot of very convinced cyclists, but you want to reach out a bit broader and to go across all layers of society, across all ages, as was mentioned as well by the ministry. So you want kids to learn to cycle from a younger age, you want them to continue cycling on a university level, and then you get a population that's healthier and you get better, let's say, societal gains altogether. One element as well that I want to just flag is Eurovelo. So in Eurovelo, it's cycling routes, but for tourists. We see that there's a big potential in Europe to develop these and to actually bring economic benefits on cycling for leisure and for holidays. So we do see that in a large touristic country like Italy, for example, 10% of the revenue of tourism comes from cycling tourism. These are, you could call it slow tourism. It's an important, let's say, economic, it's an important economic revenue at European level. And we see that the cycling tourism, the slow tourism, can actually bring a lot. So we're also kind of owning the Eurovelo brand, looking into the 90,000 kilometers of roads that are specifically for leisure cycling across Europe. The way we work, obviously, is we work on evidence-based. So we do quite a lot of research. For example, in 2025, we looked into how can you bring your bike on a train in Europe if you want to do slow travel and travel from A to B and be on a bicycle. We also do quite a lot of research, and here you have flagged as well the national cycling strategies. We have about 13 member states in Europe that have a national cycling strategy and a few others in development. What we see as highly beneficial in the national cycling strategies is that most of the countries that actually develop one also attach funds to it, and kind of a bit of a longer term. So it's a bit detached from a political consideration. It kind of shows the path for a nation to develop cycling more broadly and to actually dedicate money for that. So we do a strong monitoring there. We get in touch with our members and with the member states to make sure that we have as many cycling strategies as possible. Some are in the making. So this is something that we also kind of fully push. And of course, we give tools and we look into ways to actually promote cycling with the different angles that were mentioned already. Health, society, I think social cohesion is also very, very important. It's a very different way of living in society. If everyone, if you have a single person in a car and 10 cars in a row, or if you have 3 pedestrians, 3 cyclists, and 3 public transport users that actually meet at some parts, that is something that we find very important. We also, obviously, I think you've heard about it, but we organize a large conference where all the advocates of cycling get together. This year it's in Rimini. We have about 1,500 participants, and it's really around quite a lot of decision makers at city level, quite a lot of advocates and passionate people about cycling. And what I heard from it is that it gets a great energy. It's going to be my first this year. I've joined DCF last year, so I've never seen it yet. But on this point, I think it's maybe relevant for some of you to mention that our edition in 2027 will be in Japan, so a tick closer to India than Italy. So we'd be happy to see some of you there if possible. One element that wasn't so mentioned or was mentioned, but affordability is also very important. We see with the various conflicts now, quite a lot of fuel prices raises that question our model of, car only and car for less than 5 kilometers. So we decided together with some partners to kind of publish a manifesto not so long ago, looking into promoting cycling as energy efficient, accessible, and affordable. So we sort of wanted to give citizens options as to what can be done to kind of offset the high fuel prices at the moment. And this is our manifesto. So we divided it in short term, medium term. In the short term, what we saw and our latest, I would say, stress test when it comes to cycling was COVID. COVID, at a time, was public transport was not very used because of the risk of contamination. So at this point in time, a lot of cities in Europe actually kind of designed pop-up lanes or very, very quick reworking of the public space to allow more people to cycle. So we see this is also a very quick way to get more people to cycle, to have more safe routes, and to dedicate some part of the infrastructure to cycling. What we see in our cities is that the adjustment of speed limits is very important. Traditionally in Europe, I don't know it in miles per hour, but it's 50 kilometers an hour, which must be around 30 miles per hour, I guess. Is the benchmark, but we've seen a lot of cities lowering this to 30 kilometers per hour, and that kind of helps calm traffic, get better options for soft mobility modes, and that's something that we strongly encourage. We see that taken up in many cities in Europe. We also have this initiative around one car-free Sunday for citizens to kind of reuse the public space. I know this is something that's also been done to a certain extent in Africa and in other parts of the world. This creates a bit of an ownership of the public space, and this creates opportunity for people to try out. Maybe they're a bit afraid, or maybe they've not cycled in a long time. Maybe this is an opportunity for them to try this out. At the European level, we have two things going on right now. Obviously, we have an option to support bike purchase, so we could give financial incentives to buy the more expensive e-bikes. And of course, we also call for investment in cycling infrastructure to promote tourism. So that's what we call for on the short term. On the long run, what we say exactly that is every time there's an infrastructure planned or something looking into transport, we think they should be an earmarked 10% to active mobility, be it cycling or walking, just seeing that as a synergy and not the car against other modes, but really seeing that, okay, if I invest X million or billion into an infrastructure, I should think as well of the people that will want to cycle aside, the people that will want to walk. We need continuous cycling network, state of the art. We've had very inspiring discussions with the Norwegians last week around trial and error and what works and what doesn't. So we also have a strong monitoring of potential accidents and what needs to be done to kind of counter the risk of accidents. We think training and bike to school schemes are very important as well, and investments in human capacity. On the cycling to school, we have quite a number of very successful projects called bike buses. So it's basically a few children going together with an adult or a leader into school, so showing them the route, showing them the right behavior, and making it fun at the same time. So that is something that we see working really well. On this one, I think we've covered most of it. Important is to identify the funds that can cover for cycling networks, and we're really kind of renegotiating the large budget at European level, where we say part of it needs to be dedicated to infrastructure. As mentioned, we see national cycling strategies as a key lever, and very, very happy to congratulate you on the national strategy in India. We also saw, and that was also mentioned by the speakers from the ministry, affordable housing. We did a bit of research and we worked with others around the cost of parking spaces for cars. So in many new buildings or buildings in Europe, especially the collective buildings like the apartments, you have by default a number of parking spaces for cars. So recently we've managed to add an amendment to the law saying, well, if you have X amount of building and apartment, then you need at least 2 bike parking per apartment as well. Because what we showed is that the cost of a parking space is actually kind of put onto the owner or the tenant. and that it is between 30 and 50,000 euros altogether. So it's a high cost that's borne by everyone, even those who don't have a car, especially in cities. Whereas the bike parking would give the opportunity to actually have a bike parking and have less cost altogether. It's more easy to put in place. It's less space. It's more affordable altogether. And of course, we play a role. You saw the Cyclists Love Trains report. We want people to be able to use the bike, but also kind of put it on public transport, put it on trains, and go from A to B with our bikes as well. With the challenges caused by the more heavy electric bikes to a certain level, that means organizing the stations and the thing in such a way that you don't have to carry your more heavy bike. I think that's more or less my outlook into what we do. We do VeloCity, as mentioned. We have a Euro Velo and Cycling Tourism Conference. So this is what's going on this year. And then for 2027, we will have the privilege to be hosted by EIME and look into their infrastructure there and also what they do on cycling and sustainable urban mobility plans. So we'd be super happy to see you there. With that, I also wanted to very briefly indeed talk about the global work. We're part of PATH, Partnership for Active Travel and Health. So we work there in coalition with a walking organization called Walk 21. We promote active mobility on a global level at the COP. We were there in Belém last year, the UNFCCC Climate Week, but also we were in the World Urban Forum in Baku recently to kind of put this link between housing and transport and cycling. And the last slide is really around what we've done globally. We have the Healthy Cycling Challenge. This was sponsored by Novo Nordisk and Cities for Better Health. There we really looked across the world and asked for kind of inspiring examples of what's going on in different parts of the world. And we had 3 winners that you may have seen in our communication. We had one in Brazil looking into free community shared bicycles in favelas in São Paulo, looking into promoting mobility and connection with a focus on women and children. We had Pedalea Seguro, which is urban cycling. It's in Peru. So there we worked in reshuffling the urban space. So tactical urbanism, legal analysis, community engagement to get more people to cycle. And then the last one, closer to you, the community learning on wheels, organized by Cycle City Network Nepal. And it was really cycling education mostly. So women, teachers, and children looking into the possibility to actually have a library bike system across schools so that children can actually lend a bike, do a trip, and then return it. So this is, in a nutshell, what we do. Thank you very much for the invitation and for the attention. I hope I didn't overstep too much, but very inspiring and very happy to be virtually with you in India for the World Bicycle Day.
Thank you very much, Laurianne, for a very informative and interesting presentation. Thank you very much. You mentioned about the forthcoming VeloCity, the annual global cycling conference happening in this month. I will be there, and this will be my 10th participation in this global cycling conference in the last 15 years.
Then I count on you to take me through it. It's my first one, so very excited to be there.
Sure, I'll be there. Thank you very much once again. Very much appreciate your participation.
Thank you very much and have a very successful conference then.
Thank you. Miss Rohini Gupta has to leave because something urgent, important has come up. Please accept our memento. Thank you very much for joining. We request Mr. Jain to briefly share his views. Over to you, Mr. Jain. Mr. Jain authored several books on smart and sustainable mobility and cycling promotion. So I'm sure he will give us some interesting views.
Thank you, Dr. D.V. Manohar, Mr. K.N. Srivastava. Of course, Mayank has left. And also, I think we enjoyed the speech of Laurianne and Graham, both are very clear, very comprehensive. I will start with the National Urban Transport Policy 2006, which was framed by the Ministry of Urban Development, and I was member of the drafting committee. And this found out that India in the year 2000 has the second largest bike production after China, which was around 10 billion, 10 million per year, but and also the lowest price of the bikes in the world. But it kept on reducing from 60% trips in 1964 on bicycles. They came down to 12% in the year 2000, and now it may be only 6% or 7%, not more than that. So there has been a dip in this cycling infrastructure, cycling use of the cycles, in spite of all the facts, and everyone knows that they are cheapest mode of transport. They give you freedom. They don't cause any air pollution and things like that. So why it was happening? So under the National Urban Transport Policy, UTPAC, Unified Traffic and Transport Infrastructure Planning and Planning and Infrastructure Center was created within the DDA under the Lieutenant Governor of Delhi, and it proposed several measures for promoting unified traffic and transportation planning with focus on these bicycles. The first thing was that public bike sharing system was initiated in Delhi, and you see at various places like even outside Lodi Garden, bikes can be picked up by anybody, which are almost free of cost. Then the design guidelines were issued in consultation with the Center for Science and Environment, and about 200 kilometers of dedicated cycle tracks were built in Delhi since last 15 or 20 years, since 2010. And but still, we found that this is not giving the kind of ambition we wanted cycles to be promoted. Why it is not happening? Is it because of there is no national cycling policy or something else? But what we found are something very different. That number one, cycles are linked with the social status, and people, there is a cultural gap. People who use cycles are not respected. Secondly, the speed is a big issue in a big city. The comfort, especially in Delhi, where the climate is very hot during the summer, etc. Comfort is another issue, and of course the issue of glamour. So all these things. So that means that we have to tackle the problem in a very different way. It's not enough to build dedicated cycle tracks and maybe have some festivals and cycle days. Those are symbolic, but not enough. The first and the foremost is the urban form. The city should be designed on 15-minute city basis, which Barcelona, Paris, and many other European cities are doing. That means for becoming a cycle-friendly city, the maximum distance should be 4 to 5 kilometers from your place of residence to place of work or school or whatever it is. So this is very important to restructure the city itself. Then we have to have a priority for the bicycles, and the bicycles often in Delhi, what we observe, are mixed with the two-wheelers, and how we can retain the dedicated cycle tracks without mixing up the two-wheelers is important. Then, of course, we have to have end of the trip facilities. The cycling has to be linked with the housing and the shelter. But very important is that what we have not succeeded, what should be done, the bicycles should be allowed in the metro, in the buses, in the railways, which is not happening. This should be part of this is already a part of the National Urban Transport Policy, but this should also be pointed out in the national cycle policy. Unless this is not allowed, it may be not possible for long distance trips, because in cities like Delhi, people are not only traveling within Delhi, coming from Noida, Gurgaon, Sonipat, Panipat, and all these places. And if we want to promote cycling, cycling should be allowed on the trains and the metros, in the city buses. This is very important. And we have to have, of course, incentives of loans or investment. Of course, luckily, cycle is the cheapest mode of transport. It does not need much investment. But of course, we have to build infrastructure for cycling, and it has to be given certain priority. Maybe it can be linked with the taxation of the cars, so that some of the tax goes for cycling infrastructure. So this is something I think can be given attention. And of course, the cycling itself needs to be modernized with chips, with multi-gears, with batteries, with photovoltaics and things like that, so that cycles are also keep pace with the new technology. That's all. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jain. Dear friends, now the floor is open. We'll have the Q&A session now. Do you have a mic? I can speak. You can hear? Yeah, we can hear. Can you get a mic also? Then from here or anywhere you can speak, from anywhere, wherever you are comfortable.
Let me introduce myself. I'm Yogendra Singh. I'm from Gurgaon. I represented India in two of the toughest cycling races. One is London, Edinburgh, London. Other is Paris, Brest, Paris. And my cycling kilometers till date is around 150,000 kilometers. In last 15 years. How many of you came here on cycle today? No. So this is the situation of cycling in India. We talk a lot. We frame very good glory policies. But on the ground level, implementation is zero. I came on cycle from Gurgaon. My cycle is parked outside. And the biggest hurdle which I always face everywhere, when I always go on the conferences on cycle. My longest conference was in Haryana, Allahabad. 300 kilometers from Delhi to Allahabad, I went on cycle. They said take car, I said no. They said there's a bus coming, you can come in the bus. I said no, I will come on cycle. And I'm attending weddings on cycle, as somebody said that I think I forget the name, that you can meet. Yeah, that Graham said that you can go meeting the friend on cycle. So I go meet the friends on cycle. I don't go meeting friend on car. It's my, I always ask my friend, if you're calling me on tea, I will definitely come at 7 o'clock your house. I will have tea, cup of coffee or tea and go home. So that is my daily lifestyle. So what I am want to do is that, you see, a lot has to be done. Jain Saab correctly said, the biggest problem here, like we can't do the cycling, like we can't carry cycle in a bus. We can't carry the cycle in metro. We can't carry cycle on trains. Even the long distance trails, you can't carry a cycle. It's a big problem. Yeah, you see, but I travel whole of Central Asia, about 4,000 kilometers on cycle, which is Afghanistan, Tajikistan, Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan. I covered on cycle only. So in Tajikistan, in Uzbekistan, I found a strange situation. I was traveling on a bus. I was visiting some market. So a person came in the bus on cycle. His cycle was full with all stuff. He was basically seller. He was a temporary shop on cycle. He put the cycle on bus and he was welcomed. Nobody objected.
and he travel on cycle with the in bus. This situation is over in India, and it is. You see, I travel on cycle in a train. It was really a Herculean task for me to get the cycle from. I did the Narmada Parikrama basically on cycle. So when I was coming back, I thought, okay, let go back on cycle. Normally I travel on by train. Normally I travel by cycle. So TT came. First, I went to the railway station. I asked. They said, no, it's okay. You can take the cycle. It's okay. वो TT आएगा उसको आप बता देना. एंड वो कुछ अगर पैसे लेगा भी तो 100-150 रुपया पैसे दे देना और वो साइकिल अलाउ कर देगा. सो मैं हमेशा अपनी साइकिल प्रॉपरली पैक करता हूँ. जिप टाई अपने साथ रखता हूँ. प्रॉपर दोनों व्हील खोल के हैंडल खोल के बाहर करके आई मेक ए बैग काइंड ऑफ ए साइकिल. सो पैक करके मैंने सीट के नीचे रखा. ओके बैठ गया. टीटी आया थोड़ी देर बाद चेक किया. ये साइकिल किसका है? ऐसे मेरा है. ये यहाँ क्यों है? मैंने कहा यार मैंने बोला था, मैं स्टेशन मास्टर से मिला था. ही सेड नो प्रॉब्लम, कोई इसका अलग से टिकट नहीं होता. सो नहीं आप इस साइकिल को निकालो बाहर. मैं कहा चलती ट्रेन से कैसे बाहर निकालूं? नहीं मैं फाइन करूंगा. अब यार मैंने कहा यार अब क्या फाइन करें. सो अल्टीमेटली ही मेड कि वो साइकिल बाहर निकालो, जबकि और बड़ा सामान, साइकिल से बड़ा सामान रैक के नीचे रखा हुआ था. बट साइकिल अलाउड नहीं है. साइकिल है ये, इसलिए आप इसको बाहर लेके जाओ. उसने जहाँ पे इनका जो सोने का जो टीटी के वो जो जो काम करते हैं ना, खाना वाना सर्व करते हैं, उनकी बैठने की जो जगह होती है उसके नीचे बोला वहाँ रख दो इसको. वहाँ मैंने रख दी. मेरी साइकिल में कुछ एक सिपर था, एक लाइट थी, वो दोनों चोरी हो गई. सो दिस इज द सिचुएशन इन इंडिया. वी टॉक अ लॉट अबाउट and smart bike also, like you are doing a good thing, but I have not seen people using these smart bikes. They are there on the metro station outside, but they are there only. And I don't know what is the system of like their repair, or what is the system like of, is there any place where you are going to air pump also there where they can fill the air?
We have more than 10,000 smart bikes
Okay,
all over
fine.
the country,
Sir.
and they are being widely used.
Okay.
If you don't find cycles at the smart bike station, that means those bikes are in usage, and it is.
No, I always find the smart bike on the metro station. They are always parked there. What I am telling, yes, bikes are there. They are always parked. But what I am saying, I have not seen the public, because I widely travel Delhi on cycle. I always travel. I know.
Yeah.
Hey, yes, bikes are there. Bikes are not there. I don't know, but
Okay.
you see, I have seen in Delhi University the bike anyway.
Next, shall
And
we
I'm not
Shall we
disputing
move on
it.
to the next?
You are doing a good work. I'm saying you are doing good work for the last mile connectivity, because last mile connectivity is a big problem for people, those who are traveling the metro. So if you see, if the government, if the policy comes or some decision is taken that metro, you can take a cycle in metro, it's very good. I can take my cycle. People can take their cycle, but the infrastructure is such.
No, your point is well taken. What you're trying to say is
Yeah.
that there should be a policy that the cycles should be allowed to be carried on trains, on metros, on the buses.
Correct.
And this is a very good, session that you have made, that we have taken note of it.
Correct. Another
Can we
thing.
go to the-
Another thing came.
I think
No,
you
I'm
take a-
just one more thing.
Okay, please.
It's about the dedicated cycling track.
Ah.
I call it a big racket. It's big racket of eating out the money. I live in Gurgaon. In Gurgaon, you can see on papers, I think 200 kilometers of dedicated cycling track Gurgaon they have created. No, you cannot walk on those tracks. Live around cycling. All parked, vehicles are parked, or hawkers are parked with their taxi. One day I was riding in the morning, a police car coming on the cycle track, dedicated cycle track on NH8, near Ifko Chowk. A police vehicle, petrol vehicle coming from the opposite side. I stand in front of him. I said, "What you are doing?" वो बोलते, क्या हो गया? मैंने कहा, "This is a cycle track." तो फिर क्या हो गया? आप जाओ ना, आपको तो मैं रास्ता दे रहा हूँ. This is the attitude. So I said, okay, I took out my phone. I said, I will take a photograph and will send. Then he said, नहीं, रुको. मैंने कहा, this is a cycle. You see, it's marked a cycle track. So it's a lot to be done, public to be sensitized. Cycle tracks, I don't think that we need dedicated cycle track. जो shoulder होता हमारा road का, जिस पे आप white पट्टी लगाते हैं. If you make 3 feet of shoulder.
The point is well taken that
So,
gated
let us
cycle
get-
track may not be required if the traffic discipline comes.
Yeah, correct.
Unfortunately, today we do not have traffic discipline. So in order to save the life of, bikers.
Sir, I came from
That-
Gurgaon to
No,
this
he-
place.
No, but you might have seen, see, I have come across many cases. I was not like.
Yeah, I lost one of my friend also. But yes, that's happened with motorcycle also. That happened in car also. People have met accident, they die.
But what I'm saying is that any life lost definitely pains us a lot.
Yeah.
And here it is not because of any reason.
Thank you.
It is because of negligence of another person that the person has been killed. So that's why the traffic discipline has to come. Till that comes, this kind of dedicated track is being talked about. But one day, when the traffic discipline comes, a day will come when this dedicated tracks may not be really required.
Sir, एक छोटा सा example हो जाओ. Have you heard about 250 kilometers cycling highway in India? Have you heard about?
I at least have not heard.
Correct. That is in UP. That was made by Akhilesh Yadav. And I rode a cycle on that. He made a big event, 250 kilometers highway, cycling highway, through the jungle ravines.
Okay.
And there was a big event. I went in for the event. I did the 250 kilometers just to check what is the condition of the highway. After 2 years, I went. There was nothing. You cannot walk. All
gone.
All gone.
Sorry, next.
What is the attitude? Attitude of the people which should change. Haji, please.
Thank you. First of all, I want to thank Mr. Manohar for organizing this event. It's very important. But I'll just extend what the gentleman has said. I have 3 questions for everybody here. How many of you cycle? Number 1. Number 2, how many of you cycle every day? Number 3, how many of you don't have a car and cycle?
May I answer? I'll answer first.
Yeah.
Our friend said he cycled about 1.5 lakh kilometers.
Yeah.
I cycle at least 70,000 kilometers. To combat diabetes, I have taken to cycling 15 years back. In these 15 years, I have cycled about 70,000 kilometers. I'm now 72 and I cycle every weekend, Saturday, Sunday, 30 kilometers. So 30 into 260 into 4, 240 kilometers every month.
So this question is for everybody. And the answer to the last question is 0, except probably, I don't know whether you own a car, but I don't own a car. I cycle every day to work, and I am also a long distance cyclist. That's the answer to the problem. We talk quite a lot, but we don't implement in our own lives. In Delhi, I don't know whether Mr. Manohar, you have ridden Delhi. You're welcome to ride with us. As we speak, we are losing a cyclist on the road.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the point is, look at this room. Half of your staff, half are in the media. How many are cyclists? The question is, I'm telling you this, keep 3 things out of cycling, you'll do better. Politics, cricket, and Bollywood. You do not need politician. The policy is good. We don't need policy. I'm telling you, it's just an oversell. I am telling you, as a person in Delhi who is cycling every day, who doesn't own a car, who goes everywhere in cycling or in Uber, if the weather doesn't permit, or for example, it's too hot or too cold or too long a distance. What you need is, if there is somebody on the road who is making my life miserable, banging on my cycle, I take a picture, go to Delhi police takes action. We need that. We don't need policies. We don't need politicians coming to us. Keep the politicians out of it. You have ruined by keeping the politicians in it. Politicians are not a solution to the problem. We are the solution. It's time we ask hard questions. Graham spoke very well, as all politicians do. He spoke such a great thing, right? I am inviting him to be here in Delhi. I'll host him. He can stay with me during the winter. From November, I'm inviting you, Mr. Manohar. Come and stay in my place. From November to December and January.
We come to Delhi every...
No, but come and bike. I am telling you, the life in reality is different from what you are all seeing here. Okay? The point, and I can't agree with him, we need law enforcement to be sensitized. If we as cyclists do something, we complain against an accident, they take action. Of course, we need infrastructure. Of course, we do. But my point is, number 1, number 2 is safety. You know what is most important is not just the safety of the bicyclist, but the safety of the bicycle. The reason I didn't bike today here is I'm not sure whether my bike is going to be stolen. I don't want to bike somewhere where my bike is stolen. India International Center, Mr. Srivastava, he's doing a great job. Once I came here and the guard asked me, "Ya nahi rakh sakte bike? Bahar jao." The question is, we don't have a bike stand here. We need to tell, these are the simple thing. We need to tell our chowkidar, the guards, here's the bike stand. If somebody comes, it's your job to look after the bike. Bike has to be locked. You have to do. These are the practical steps. The point is, I lived 20 years in 4 continents, including in Copenhagen and London. I biked all around the world. So the question is, bike is not a noun, it's a verb. You have to bike to understand what we're talking about. The life of a biker, a rider, is not easy in Delhi. And all of us, by the way, the before the last point I'll make, all of us in this room who have used the car, in Delhi, people don't drive, they have drivers. I'm telling you this is all great talk. The drivers have to be sensitized, not the Malik.
Yes.
You sit at the back in the AC. The driver is clueless. He's the one who is making an accident with the bicyclist. Nobody gave away. So this is what we need to do. I'm saying stop talking complete superlatives. Live a life.
I entirely agree with you. Can you identify yourself, sir?
Sorry. My name is Binay Panda. I'm a professor in JNU.
Okay. Vinay.
Thank you.
Vinay. Now, Professor Vinay, you have really made very, very valid points. One more thing I would like to just add to what you have said is that no doubt the traffic rules have to be enforced. Once the traffic rules are enforced, automatically the driving on the roads by bicycle becomes much more easier and simpler. But for enforcing the traffic rules, it is not just the traffic police. I would say that judiciary also has to play its part. I'll give you an example. One day, I invited Delhi Police Commissioner to my office and asked him that on some traffic squares, cameras were installed to record who is violating, and cases were being filed. What happened? Now I find that nothing is really happening. People are violating merrily. He said that initially all these cameras were really working very efficiently. Cases were being filed. People are so brazen, they were not ready to get their offense compounded despite the evidence being over there. Cases went to the court. The number of cases piled up to more than 2 crores. 2 crores. The judges were just admitting cases without realizing what they are doing, because these cases need not be, admitted and subjected to the usual court procedure. So then they try to approach the higher ups in the judiciary to tell that the lower judges should be advised to dispose of this case on a summary basis, but nothing has happened. Consequently, the Delhi police have now stopped filing cases on the basis of those cameras. Cameras have become defunct. All over the world, you have seen how effectively the traffic rules are being enforced using those cameras. But in our country, things are different. But somehow we don't talk about judiciary at all. We are only blaming police, we are blaming MCD, DDA, everybody, but never we blame judiciary. Now a time has come that even this microscope should be put towards judiciary. Let them play their part. They have to play a complementary part. Then only things can really be enforced. Just police cannot do.
Sir, this is Sanjay. Sir, this way, sir. I don't have any question. I think I've joined in between. My observation in Delhi, as Rohina put it, the pedestrians. I am driving a car every day, and at Connaught Place or the police headquarters, zebra crossing, I'm stopping my car. पीछे वाला मेरे को गाली दे रहा है, and they're trying to bang me. Once the police guys also ने नमस्ते किया कि सर आपने गाड़ी रोक दिया. एक दिन मैं बस में गया, बस ड्राइवर को मैंने बोला, do you know the zebra crossing? बोला सर हम लोग तो पढ़े लिखे नहीं है. So no, who is going to enforce?
That the police have to do.
Yes. Yeah, no. So I told him, sir, गाली नहीं दे रहे आप. So I told him this is a zebra. उसने गाड़ी रोक दी election commission के पास, and public डर गई. Why you stop the car? So first thing, cycling is second. I think first thing is the suraksha of the pedestrian at large, which is not there. And so cycling में, when I bought a car first time on my money, तो मैंने सोचा एक साइकिल ले लूँ, गाड़ी में फिट कर दूँ. तो मैं झंडे वालन गया तो बच्चों की साइकिल थी. उन्होंने कहा सर आपके फ्रेम के लिए तो. Then I went to Connaught Place. महंगी साइकिल्स हैं. It's not within my budget, 40,000 की. So somebody say you have to initiate these. cycle walas, Hero Cycles, Atlas Cycles, they make a cycle for Indian people. जैसे ये लोग सर हैं यहाँ पे,
बात करेंगे, बहुत अच्छा बताया उसने।
सर वो जो बता रहे हैं,
हाँ,
Magic wand.
yes,
We
yes.
shouldn't expect police to do our job. How many of us actually have, stopped your drivers to drive rash? Jaldi hai ya, jaldi 10 minutes में पहुंचना है. So the question is that we have to take the blame ourselves. It is not the police.
It is attitude of the people.
And sir, hospital maybe today, I was there.
We'll give opportunity for.
सर जस्ट आई एम मेंशनिंग फॉर योर रेफरेंस, हॉस्पिटल में आप अगर ऑटो में जाएंगे, हॉस्पिटल में ऑटो अलाउड नहीं है. देयर सम गाइज आर वेरी रिच, दे बॉट एन ऑटो एंड दे वेंट टू ताज एंड मोरिया, वहां पे उनको सैल्यूट करा गया. सो व्हाट इज हैपनिंग इन दिल्ली फोर्टिस में, गुड़गांव में अलाउड है, अपोलो में अलाउड नहीं है. तो आप लोग को पॉलिसीज में साइकिल भी अलाउ कराना पड़ेगा एवरीवेयर.
Please.
Yeah.
Good
Mr. Manohar, I think root cause of each and every problem is urbanization. We are more focusing on urbanization. What is the need? Why not to make smart villages so that people should not jump to big cities in Delhi, Mumbai, Kolkata? Say the way Mahua madam was talking about urbanization, I think we have to reverse it. It's not going to help anyway. Neither economy will improve, nor this sustainability we are talking. Nothing will happen. One thing more I want to add about cycle. Earlier, when I was school-going kid, there used to be a competition of slow cycling, zigzag. Very slow cycling was also competition. So why not to add few more competition cycling also that can also encourage cycling? Thank you.
No, Ms. Bakri, what you are saying is absolutely correct. This is what President Abdul Kalam, he gave that idea of Pura, providing urban infrastructure in rural areas. Thanks to the efforts put in by the Ministry of Surface Transport, the highway network has really expanded massively all over the country. And that has really eased the pressure on the cities in terms of migration from the rural areas. I come from a village myself. I keep going to my village every second month. I find that in all those areas, I'm talking Eastern UP, not only Eastern UP, for that matter, any village you go in the country, the infrastructure has really developed. The migration, what it used to take place earlier, is not happening. Only thing is that unless you create job opportunities also, the migration is not going to stop. So effort has to be put in to create jobs all over the country, in the rural areas, everywhere. And it is possible. There are, I don't want to, waste everybody's time. There is a subject by itself. Jobs can be created. So infrastructure and creation of jobs locally together can only prevent migration from rural to urban areas. अब हम जब गांव जाते हैं तो हमको लगता है नहीं कि गांव है, because the village has got broadband connectivity, सारे mobile phones, सब कुछ, everything you can nicely access, power supply 24 hours, roads are very good. Where is the necessity of you coming from that village if you have got a job opportunity next door? Yeah. हाँ, correct. हाँ,
Everything is available.
correct.
So people not migrate.
हाँ, जॉब की बात वही मैं कर रहा हूँ.
Yeah, please.
Mr. Mishra, he said that smart cities, my problem क्या है, जैसे आप हैं sir, now you are settled in Delhi, you go only twice a month. He says, I am from Lucknow, I don't go back to Lucknow.
मैं दिल्ली में सेटल नहीं हुए, मैं रह रहा हूँ फिलहाल.
Back to their rural, the roots. Then we can solve that.
Let us hear our
Sir,
friend.
I'm Dhruv Chandra. I am a passionate cyclist and I work very closely with air pollution. So, what I learned from today's session is that in the coming future, we will have to look at a major transition from in mobility, from using cars to cycles. So I think I just have one suggestion which could help us in moving towards this position, where we can promote cycling, where today if you are using a car, you have to spend a lot of money, you have to buy the car, you have to pay the taxes for the road, you have to pay for the fuel, etc., etc. So there's a lot of money that you have to spend to mobilize. But with cycling, we can promote it by saying that if you cycle, you can earn from it, even though it's a very nominal amount. But it is something that would promote a lot of people to move from that transition and move from that blockage in that mindset that how can I move to a cycle from a car?
Very true. The savings will be substantial.
I was director in a company, I'm still there. So we initiated this. So we said, anybody who is coming to cycle, 500 rupees per month extra will be given. And we made the card to make an entry to those who are coming. So the people, yes, definitely they start coming cycling, but again, I think problem है हमारे यहाँ पे वो चीज sustain नहीं कर पाती और फिर दोबारा problem.
Yeah, all these incentives will definitely help. Now, one last question. Anybody else?
So on the GST front, the cycle should not have any GST. It's a common man's. Right, GST?
Yeah.
No, certainly, that can be. Yes.
Now, anomaly is on electric bicycles, it is 5% GST. On normal bicycles, it is 12% GST, which is totally unfair.
We should give subsidies, sir.
Yeah. I fully agree with all
Like
the
electric
sentiments
vehicles.
conveyed by you. I fully agree with you. But we have to change the system and we have to change the society. The people, the citizens also have to change.
We citizens have to change, nobody else. Rest will come follow.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Not with me. We have in Delhi, the most important problem for me, I am not problem. Everybody else is. So we have to change.
Yeah.
Rest will
Yes.
follow.
Yes,
And keeping the politicians out is the number one. Because they are not going to listen.
We don't have any politicians here.
Not the politicians. The moment you give the power to them, you are finished. Now what happened? GST, Finance Ministry लोग नहीं जाते ना साइकिल पे उनको क्यों GST लगाते?
Will control. So,
अक्सर क्या इनिशियल जैसे आपने देखा लोग साइकिल पे नहीं जाते बिकॉज लोगों का बिहेवियर गाड़ी में बहुत गड़बड़ है, एक्सीडेंट होते हैं. लेकिन मैं हमेशा ये बोलता हूँ कि जब तक आप निकलोगे नहीं साइकिल लेके तब तक आप अपना स्पेस भी रिक्लेम नहीं कर पाओगे. सो कम ऑन द साइकिल, एटलीस्ट शो द पब्लिक दैट वी आर आल्सो रोड यूजर. सो पब्लिक फिर ऐसा ऐसा आपको देखेगी तो जगह देगी. अभी हम निकलेंगे नहीं तो फिर जगह भी नहीं.
true, true. See, my friends call me cycle barrier because I keep cycling and I have had half a dozen cycling accidents. My wife is here. She says, why do you expose yourself to these risks? I sustained several fractures, spent, weeks in hospital, all because of cycling accidents.
मोटरसाइकिल की व्यवस्था ठीक है, वो सब एक अलग चीज है. बट हम जब तक निकलेंगे नहीं रोड पे तब तक लोगों को पता नहीं लगेगा कि साइकिल भी रोड पे आते हैं. साइकिल वालों को भी रोड चाहिए, तब तक लोग देखेंगे.
Yeah, thank you very much for your active participation and let us work together in promoting cycling, in making our cities much more livable and much better. Well, let us do what all we can from our side. Thank you very much once again. One second, sir. Thank you very much, sir, for being our chief guest. Please accept this. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Light media rights.
I now go to my office now.
What about lunch, sir?
I've got some.